So we're going into game 2 between ikab and Hans. ikab now has the Soviets and instantly locking in guard rifle combined arms, no questions about that. Whereas Hans is breakthrough special operations and Luftwaffe ground forces as OKW. ikab stunning the world with his upset in game 1. Can he keep this up? He's gone for a very slow start to this match. Gone straight for tier 2, which does often lead to some map control problems early, and that's really amplified when playing against OKW, who are typically extremely aggressive in the early game. Often when I tried this build, yeah, you just feel like you're fighting from behind, but then it turns around maybe at some point around the 10-minute mark, but generally feels like a struggle going for this build. Interesting to see he's actually putting up sandbags on his own cutoff there, and didn't wire off this, which is usually what you would wire off to prevent your enemies taking this heavy cover position as you advance from your base. Instead, he's prioritizing wiring off this section down here, and he's putting more sandbags down, so it looks like he's getting settled in for a defensive early game. Try to use his machine guns to hold on to his territory, make up for his slow start. Hans also getting the Kubel as OKW from that left spawn. More maxims from ikab.
Squad awaiting orders.
All is quiet. Hans is positioning his troops for his first assault.
Well done, comrades. The point is ours.
Still positioning. Don't want to creep in too early. Okay, so here's the first assault. Hans coming in from this side, but behind the light cover here, conscript should win. Hans backpedals to the heavy cover, so now the conscripts have to close the distance if they want to be able to win the engagement. Or maybe not. He's going to stand on the very edge of the capping circle here. Suffering a triple cap currently, so he's got to slow the drain down somehow, and here comes the Kubel leading the way, soaking the focus fire, allowing the stern pioneers to close in, not taking any damage. Flamethrower pops on them though. They switch targets over to the stern pioneers, and the Maxims also turned around and get suppression on the stern pioneers, and they have to retreat. Fresh squad of conscripts coming in as well, providing sight, allowing the Maxim to go to work on the squad inside the building. Only one or maybe even two models from that house firing. Maxim spins around. Hans bringing in another squad from a different angle. They get pinned just as they're about to clear the arc of fire. Unfortunate for Hans. So ikab going for a very defensive start, and though he has very little VP control currently, has defended quite admirably Hans' first assault there. Hans also going for the 4 Folks start with the Kubel, so a very aggressive start. Maxim setting up here. Kubel coming in from the side. Maxim's going to need to retreat there. Even head to head, this was a very dicey engagement for the Maxim. At least he got a little bit of luck on the suppression. I think he would have lost that anyway. Hans has got his truck out. What's it going to be? Looks like he's going for the medics. So we're not going to be seeing any luxes from him. Probably going to be the Flak half-track. Skull gets forced away there, but second turn. That gets forced away. Hans has a massive amount of squads down here, easily outnumbering. ikab's got his sandbag position, but it's going to be invalidated by the incendiary grenade. And this is basically all caused because ikab used that machine gun aggressively down here, trying to fight this head-to-head, allowed it to be forced away, so it couldn't contribute suppression to stall this advance from Hans. ikab though has managed to squeeze a squad to the north, slow down that VP drain. He's already lost close to 150 VPs and we're only 6 minutes into this match. He's running a Maxim right onto Hans's cutoff. Similar situation though, he will need to capture this point to neutralize the fuel. But that's exactly what he's going to do. He's run both Maxims over here. So he's just abandoned his own side of the map. He's going after Hans's. Doesn't want to run into these Volkskriegs behind their heavy cover positions. Squad gets suppressed. But this squad coming around the side, there is a conscript there to help defend. He repositions out of the flame. No? Now he does. Turns around to start chipping away. Another incendiary grenade comes in though. Okay, trying to reposition, but he's already taken close to half his health and damage. Kuba wants to come in. But Kuba will go down very quickly to the Maxim. Looks like Hans has repelled an attack over here. But ikab's still regathering his fuel and has the cutoff. So all in all, pretty successful for ikab. No medics for him though. It's like he's just got so many units. How does he have so many? It's because he hasn't spent 250 manpower on the medics yet. So all his squad's going to be coming in on low health. That is a fresh squad of guards being upgraded with the DPs. Make them very powerful. I'll be interested to see if he goes for a merge here onto these combat engineers. He really should. Nice work there. Now in the flamethrower to stay in the battle. Retreats now. Stern Pioneers round the corner, but Stern Pioneers don't want anything to do with that LMG guard squad. Trying to bait him over this mine perhaps, which would help turn the engagement around. Here comes the Flak half track. ikab's gonna need more than just one squad of guards to deal with this. Guards just tearing through those Stern Pioneers. Flak half track forcing away all these squads from the north. Well, they're not really squads, are they? They're Maxims. Goes for the healing now. So that's gonna even further delay his AT response to this Flak half track. If Hans takes advantage of that, gets aggressive with it now, he could gain a lot of territory. I mean, he's already got a lot of territory. VP drain has been on ikab since the start. He's using attack ground here, perhaps, you know, a bit of impromptu minesweeping. Doesn't spot anything there. Not a bad idea as well. Making up for the fact the Stern Pioneers aren't nearby, had to retreat. But the guards come in from the side, force that squad away. Doesn't matter, they did get the neutralize, so no fuel going to be coming in, very little for ikab. And this is where having sandbags on his cutoff's gonna assist him, allowing him to regather this. Hans trying to stay outside of the range of the guards, pick away at very edge of his own range. Exchange grenades. ikab's into the light cover position. The incendiary grenade denying the cover, but it doesn't matter. The territory is secured. ikab stalling out here for the Zis to arrive, just staying in strong cover positions. As Hans makes his assault. The squad takes so much damage from the guards, stops the neutralize there. Another incendiary grenade. All these grenades mean no weapon upgrades yet for Hans. So we're spending it all on grenades and the sweepers, of course. In comes a MG34 for Hans, as well as a Raketen. I think given his control so far, I personally wouldn't be too worried about a T70. Better safe than sorry. Guards end up forcing back. Flak half track there. Remember, the flak half track did have a nerf to its suppression. Took quite a long time to suppress those guards. And it actually ended up taking quite a lot more damage in that engagement. And it looks like ikab's gonna repel that assault from Hans. Hans has been very passive with this squad down here. Could, come down here. Keep the VP drain going. Speaking of that, ikab did secure the north. He's got a few squads up here doing some damage to Hans. Also has a PPSH upgrade on those conscripts. So now they will easily overwhelm the Fox Grenadiers. Demo charge on that church as well. That's a nasty trick. MG34 in a great position here, shutting down so many squads coming through the center. ikab's actually got quite a lot of fuel in the bank. Hasn't made tier 3, makes me think he's going to go straight for a tier 4 unit, maybe a fast T-34-76 or... Ooh, this is close. Will the AT gun go down? Maybe a fast KV-1 even. Let's bring out the flak half track, not even on full health, but he needs to shut down this harassment in the north. So the Maxim not fully behind heavy cover there. He's going to be forced away almost immediately. Hans bringing out his next tech truck, wants to cover his cutoff. There's a squad of conscripts nearby. Do they have the AT grenades? They do indeed. Okay, finally putting down his tier 3 now as well. As I said, he's got so much fuel at this stage. Maybe he's just going to rush out the tier 4 unit. And I think that'll probably be the way to go. Head in the dirt. It's going to stop the suppression from the flak half track. And allow him to get the neutralized there. Nice work by ikab. Good use of hit the dirt. Still Hans in a commanding position. However, as more and more PPSHs come online, and Hans doesn't have weapon upgrades on his Fox Grenadiers, is at risk of being overrun by these conscripts. ikab does have quite a lot of anti-infantry here. Hans is going to be relying on that. There's a 4 coming in. Guards come out here. Going to take cover behind these logs. Even that's not enough. Guards take a lot of health damage as well, but if these were STGs, they'd probably drop a few more models. Oh, but they end up doing it anyway, right at the very edge of their range. Maxim hands this in the middle. Kept taking quite a lot of model losses here, but has managed to squeeze in his tier 4 tech. However, because of all that manpower loss, can't afford a tank currently, even though he's got the fuel for a T-34-76. Can't afford the manpower at the moment. But still, ikab's navigated a very tricky portion of the game. Hans got off to a, pretty commanding map control situation. And Hans had the light vehicle, ikab had nothing. So it should all be downhill for here for ikab. Should be easy to keep things going. Guards making a push in the north. The conscripts. These two team weapons locking down the middle for ICAB. Trying to put down some sandbags. So the Flak half-track heading up that way. Hans has gone for an ISG to try and soften up these team weapons in the middle. Pretty good idea. Here comes the Zis barrage. Clears out the heavy cover. Ooh, and that was a juicy hit. Almost gets the wipe. I think that's one of the tricks to the current Soviet meta. Making good use of that Zis barrage. Remember, they reduced the cost of it and the amount of shells it shoots, but nowadays you can kind of just spam it a little bit, make up for the fact you don't have a mortar in your build, especially now that Soviet mortar seems to be a little bit worse after the last patch. Guards getting some good hits in, and they hit the dirt as well, which forces away the Flak half track. Okay, making good use of hit the dirt. Still struggling to save his manpower though. At this stage must be thinking of going for the KV-1, and the KV-1 does match up quite nicely against the OKW Panzer IV, which has, you know, quite sturdy armor. So does the KV-1. Still 244 VPs. Okay, is quite far behind to Hans's 461. Send your grenade over the hedgerow. Gets rid of the guards briefly. Hans has got 2 Raketens now. That is a lot of anti-tank for him. Why did he get this second Raketen? That's what I'm wondering about. Maybe he's saving up for a Panther or something, I'm not sure. I thought he would have brought in a Panzer IV instead of the second Raketen. Is he going straight for a King Tiger or something? It just seems very unusual to go for a second Raketen at this stage. There's a barrage coming in. Going after the MG long range. Chipping away long range as well. Oh, and the Zis barrage actually, with its last shell, looks like it clears out the MG34 over there. So KV-1 on the field for ICAB. Given how this match looked at about 9 minutes, I don't think I would have expected ICAB to be the first one to field a proper tank. That's how it's panned out. Hans going for a second Raketen instead of a Panzer IV. Very unusual. But maybe he's going to go for the Panther. Thing is then, he's got 2 Raketens and a Panther. That's a lot of anti-tank. And his Volksjägers are going to struggle against the PPSH conscripts, the Maxims, and of course the guards. So I feel like ICAB has a slightly superior army composition in terms of holding on to territory. But we are on Kholodny Ferma, and playing from this right hand side, just so hard to hold on to the central VP from the right hand side. And Hans is kind of exploiting that. You know, he's got a lot of team weapons camped around the middle, as you can do from that left hand spawn. So Hans is taking full advantage of his spawn. Ooh, nice grenade. That's going to be the end of that Raketen. And ICAB making an assault up here. I don't know if he's even run into this tier 4 yet. Maybe he has actually. There are a couple of shells over there. But he's going to run into it again. Oh, that was unfortunate. I think on the back of all these squads getting forced to retreat, ICAB's going to have to give up this push. Here comes the Panther. Hans is charging in, sensing that ICAB should have retreated this, but the Zis is back there, coming in support, Still not on prioritized vehicles. He takes engine damage on the KV-1. Hans is trying to flank with the Panther, having trouble getting around the side. Gets outside of the arc of the Zis. Conscript's too far away. Needs to oorah in there. Come in for some support with the AT grenade. Hans microing this well with his Panther with the high movement speed on the road. Finally gets an AT grenade in there. Zis now facing up for some more shots, but it's hard to imagine that the Panther won't get the kill here. Oh, but he misses! And Hans is backing away. Oh, but the Faust comes through, secures the kill. KV-1 goes down, and that's all because IKAB just stayed in there a little bit too long. He had 3 squads forced to retreat. And Hans noticed that. Jumped on the opportunity because IKAB just didn't have enough support up here with those 3 squads gone. And took out the KV-1. Nice recognition of the opportunity there by Hans. Jumped on it. Came good. So he's repairing. IKAB 20 fuel away from another KV-1. Shows what I imagine he's going to get. No, he's going for an Su-85. Oh boy. Notoriously hard to use on this map. Kholodny Ferma is the Su-85. We'll have to see how he gets on with it. But yeah, seems like IKAB had a little bit of trouble with his micro in that last engagement. Hans was overwhelming him there. So Sandbags coming back to bite him here. Ends up losing that engagement because of it. Heavy cover gets destroyed. Panther shredding the squad with its machine gun. But the demo charge goes off there. Hans spotting it and destroying it. Now running onto the cutoff. He's got a few mines around his IKAB though. Probably spending a lot of munitions on mines, knowing that Hans still has the Flak half track, so if he calls on the IL-2s, it's just going to get shot down. And there we go. The Su-85 reveals itself by shooting at a squad of Fox Grenadiers. So Hans should be aware of that on the field. Okay, but just hasn't even contested the central VP for such a long time. He's just hoping to get lucky with the Su-85 here or something. Trying to shoot at that squad, get a lucky model pick. Su-85, you know, it's very strong against the Panther, don't get me wrong, but on a map like this, so many like lanes, very easy for the Panther to get a flank on the Su-85. The Su-85 with no turret is going to have trouble responding to that. Unless Hans just brings the Panther straight down the center where both of IKAB's anti-tank units are pointing. That would make things a little bit easier for him. Hans still hasn't selected a commander, keeping his options open. Doesn't really have munitions to make use of anything in here currently. Probably part of the reason why. The car track getting around the side of the sandbags, getting the suppression in there. I'll try to force away these squads. There are a lot of mines up here. Okay, finally breaking through in the south. Holding on in the north quite admirably as well. Remember, guards did have a nerf to their deflection damage. So when they bounce on the Panther, they won't be doing quite as much damage. However, the Panther also received a slight armor nerf, so... Oh, whoa! I didn't think there was even a chance of that squad going down. But Hans got it. Wow, squad of conscripts go down there. Well, nice pickup for Hans. Now Ikab's lost KV1 and a squad of conscripts. I don't think Hans has lost anything yet. I mean, his machine gun got decrewed, but it's nothing major at all. It's up to 6 kills, camped in the centre there. Su-85 pushing forwards. It's a shot off on the Panther, trying to backpedal down this road. It's a second hit in there as well. Both those going to pull back for repairs now. Turning into a little bit more of a stalemate now. Hans may be waiting for his next tank to come in before making an aggressive push, and it's going to be the Jagdpanzer. And ikab going for the T-34-76. Very strong anti-infantry is the T-34-76, but its anti-tank properties are rather lacking. Especially against, you know, the Panther. Okay, ikab calling in the IL-2 Sternvik planes. There's the Flak half-track on the field though. It is on the exact opposite side of the map, so I'm not sure if it will even get any shots on them from that far away. Let's force away Hans from the south and allow ikab to regain some territory down here, but ikab's going to have to make some plays. He's getting low on VPs. Panther's there, so is the Su-85. Su-85 actually didn't receive repairs, so he's trying to manage the range here. Make use of his 10 range advantage on that Su-85. Well, he's using the focus sight mode as well, which is going to hurt his maneuverability, but this is going to be able to see that Panther long range. And the planes here, I feel like they didn't even get that much done. Barely forced any units away. So I feel like there was a little bit of a waste of munitions there from ikab. It's called in a fresh squad of guards as well. So now spending all that munitions doesn't have enough for the DP upgrade. And it looks like Hans is ready to make a push here. He's got a few mines down in the vicinity as well. If anything decides to chase him, he can just lure them over those mines, and gets engine damage on T-34 Panther. Pushing forwards, going after the Su-85 Jagdpanzer in behind. Oh, what's he doing with this Su-85? T-34 contributing from the side though. Hans. Oh, main gun destroyed on the Jagdpanzer. He's on the road though, he's going to speed away to safety. But I kept getting a bit lucky there. The main gun destroyed. I thought this might have been the end of his Su-85, honestly. But Hans playing it safe, you know, he could have dived in there with the Panther, but you know, doesn't know if there are mines down here or more supporting infantry, which could end up knocking out his Panther. And if he lost the Panther there without getting Su-85 in return, that would be a disaster scenario. Okay, harassing the north again. Being quite diligent about that. Hans has got a Flak half track up there, but ikab's actually wheeled his Zis all the way up there as well. Oh no, main gun destroyed on the T-34. And what's the Su-85 up to? Facing the wrong direction on low health. He's only got one squad engineers for repairs. It's not enough for 2 medium tanks. Hans has managed to keep this Kubel alive well into the late game here. Making use of its infantry awareness. But it has to get out of there. It doesn't want to PTRS. Destroying it. So he's charging after that Zis that was up here and getting it. This could be Hans' chance to pounce. 2v1 here. Conscript's getting muscled out. Still gonna beat that squad though. It's the power of the PPSH conscript. The guards up there now gonna try and defend the Zis. Try to prevent that from being turned over to Hans. Looks like Hans is just gonna go for the kill on it though. Throws an incendiary grenade on to try and deny the capture. But ikab's gonna use his guards to try and steal it back. So on very low health. Hans doesn't want to commit to anything. Maybe if his Panther was on full health he would, but at the moment, you know, a conscript squad could just oorah around the corner, get engine damage off, and Panther will be in a world of trouble. ikab doing a good job here, controlling the VPs from this right hand spawn on Kholodny. Looks like Hans is now upgrading the engineers to try and speed up the repairs on his vehicles. Because he's very close to his supply limit, can't afford to get another squad of stern pioneers really. Guards getting forced away there. Oh, he managed to squeeze around the side of the Maxim. He's going to throw some infiltration grenades on it. Oh, and they do heavy damage too. T-34, oh, what a whopping hit. Almost knocks it out. Oh, and ikab's charging through the center here. Knocks out the ISG. T-34 comes forward, but gets caught by the Raketin, the stealth Raketin there. T-34 takes another hit. Panther pushing forwards. Is he going to go for the kill? Or is he going to be too worried about mines? No, he's going in for it. Where's the SU-85? He's back here being repaired. He's bringing it up now. And there's a Zis in a sneaky angle down there. Stops Hans from chasing any further. Oh, runs over another mine. This could be the end of the T-34, but once again, Hans playing very safe. This squad of conscripts here, maybe he's worried about the engine damage. He actually loses his Raketin. Panther charging in though, going after that T-34 is one shot from death. Jagdpanzer in trouble. ikab somehow in a good position here. Panther missed that shot. Gets the killing blow there, but he loses his Panther to the SU-85 that's Vet 2 now. How did this go so wrong for Hans? Tried to steal the Raketin there, but got decrewed immediately, it looked like. The stern pioneers. But that was, you know, he saw the opportunity. The T-34 was down here one shot, but he kind of reacted a little bit slowly with his Panther. And just, yeah, got his rear arm exposed. Took quite a lot of shots from the Zis that was in a real sneaky position down there. Oh, what a juicy Zis barrage. And he knocks out the MG-34. ikab turning this one around. And he's going to have enough munitions for an IL-2 quite soon. I feel like Hans hasn't got much value out of his Flak half-track in the last 10 minutes or so. But he's bringing it forwards now. Problem is, you know, there's already a Vet 2 SU-85 on the field. It's going to make Hans's future armor a lot weaker in comparison. SU-85 trading blows. Jagdpanzer's there though for the return fire, and that's V1 now. And just managing to regather his Raketin. That's nice for him. He did lose all the variance here on his ISG though. ikab's going to pull back, but you know, he's got control of the center at the moment. Hans is going to sneak a Raketin in there for the capture. ikab doing his best to stop the VP drain here, because he got off to such a bad start for the VPs, going for that tier 2 opening. If Hans is going to try regather this machine gun. Nope, IKAB's going to put a stop to that. Ends up destroying it there. Denying the opportunity. Could this mean this is a little bit exposed to this coming squad of Volksgrenadiers? They're highly vetted as well. They're going to be quite dangerous. Maxim is coming around the corner. And so are the conscripts. They oorah in to try and save this. And I think they'll probably be able to push them away. Throwing infiltration grenades close range. Try and turn the engagement around, but not quite enough. Still, Hans briefly regathered 2 VPs. IKAB being very, very, very low on VPs, and Hans actually going for the command Panther here. A little bit more expensive, but does have access to the coordinated fire. This is definitely not right. Plus 50% received damage, right? I think it's plus 30%, isn't it? Might even be less than that. Might even be 20%. G85 in a good position for IKAB here, forcing away the command Panther. Panzer's now heading up to the north, try to get a flank on the G85, and Panzer's now opening up on the T-34, forcing that away. IKAB's still in control of 2 VPs. He's got 2 machine guns, which I think is really aiding his VP control so far. Hans comes around from a cheeky angle from the Flak half track. Really nice angle. SU-85's trying to force it away, but the guards are gone now, and this could have left his SU-85 in trouble. He deactivates the focus sight, but it looks like it's going to go down. Hans charging in. He's one more hit, and he connects long range. There goes the SU-85. Guards have to get their button going, but it's about to wear off. This is moving up. T-34 trying to flank around now, but it's taking heavy damage. He needs to get in there for a Faust. He'll get the killing blow with 1 Faust. There it is. And IKAB loses both of his tanks. That was a disaster for him. He's got quite a lot of fuel, but yeah, you don't want to be losing 2 tanks and getting nothing in return at any stage of the game. Simply unacceptable losses there. Making use of that focus sight to try and deal with the Flak half track. Kind of caught him out of position. The lack of maneuverability in that focus sight mode allowed the Panther to pounce. Secure the kill. Going for a T-34 is his next option. I mean, there's really, like, IKAB technically doesn't need to make a tank. Like, Hans has, you know, got quite a bit invested in anti-tank. The Command Panther, not particularly strong against infantry. The Jagdpanther's obviously basically only good against tanks. And, you know, IKAB's got some nice infantry himself. If you turn this into like a straight infantry versus infantry war, he's in a pretty good position to fight it. Maybe if he just invests himself into another Zis. There goes the Kubel. Lasted almost 40 minutes. Had a good run. But he's gonna go for a T-34. Hans did just get some obers though, so they will be threatening IKAB's infantry, but he's still got some very highly vetted squads. Here comes the Panther. Oh, charges through the hedgerow there. chasing. Panther missing its shots while firing on the move though, so abandons the chase. Pulls back for repairs. IKAB's gone for a fresh squad of combat engineers as well. So he's got plenty of repairs kicking around. Looks like Hans picked up that DP the guards dropped over here. He's going to try to throw his infiltration grenades as they come in. This time it looks a little bit more effective. Got them off earlier. It still gets forced away by the T-34. Another T-34 for IKAB. He's got enough munitions for an IL-2 strike as well. He's not out of this one yet. 87 VPs remaining. You know, if Hans runs over a mine, if he gets like a flank in with the T-34s, he can still turn this one around. Going to come down to his ZIS positioning, which at the moment is in the north, not around to help his T-34, which is now exposed to the Panther. Oh, and the Panther through the center as well. Still got a return shot off whilst it was out of control, but that is a disaster scenario. He just keeps building and losing his armor. I'm just pulling away now. Only one supply of 67. He's going for an assault on the tech structure, it looks like, with the ZIS. Indeed he is. Where is his maximum position currently? Yeah, better keep those guards out of the Flak base's range. It's calling in the IL-2s now. There's still the Flak half track for Hans. See how many passes they get in before they get shot down. Sounds like he shot down one of them instantly. Hans gets an incendiary grenade on, and the ISG's barraging this as well. Is this going down quickly, but can he get two more hits in? No, the Panther actually blocks a shot on the tech structure. And the ZIS is going to go down before he gets the kill on it. Oh, that is unfortunate for IKAB. He was kind of bending it all on getting this tech structure killed. And it doesn't quite come through. He tried to recrew it and do it again, but Hans just has too much here now. Defends this push effectively. And IKAB's draining out 52 VPs remaining. He's in deep trouble. Panther from the side as well. Could put some pressure on the T-34. He is. T-34 is going to go down here. And this was a misguided push by IKAB again, I feel. He had his quite a lot of units up here. Didn't quite get the kill on the tech structure. And as this wasn't in position to help the T-34 that was down here, ended up getting picked off by the Panther and then didn't even get the objective. So well played by Hans there. We're going 1-1 into the deciding match.